But from that, we'll head into one of our other winter sports that is wrapping up, and that is Auburn gymnastics. The gymnastics team just absolutely crushed last weekend on the road at Florida like they were expecting to, scoring a more than 195, Justin, is that correct?
Top to 197 on the road.
Yes. I'm sorry, 197. That is exactly what I meant, but 195 was for some reason in my head. But what does that kind of mean for Auburn to get a 197 on the road?
Okay, that's huge. That's a big score. So that is like at a certain point in the season, only the top 5 teams in the country were averaging a 197 as far as every meet in an average. Obviously, Auburn wasn't averaging it every time, but so what you need is, of course, as we talk about in gymnastics, wins and losses do not matter. You do not care. What matters is, for example, Auburn's 1-7 and ranked number 12. It doesn't matter. So what you need is, for postseason, you need 2 good road scores and 2 good home scores. The home scores are typically better because you have home equipment. You're used to that equipment because, I mean, the equipment, the vault, I mean, the spring, everything's you're in a sport of millimeters here. So the equipment's a big deal. So everyone performs better at home. I didn't even know that Auburn had hit 197 twice at home, which is a good score. I didn't even know they were capable of hitting it on the road. They had been in the 195s, 196, and in gymnastics, 1 point is huge. That's what you would say it as 10 tenths, because that's how, a tenth is more like a point, really. To go there to Florida, they thought they had an opportunity because, like we talked about, I think we talked about it here on the show, because Florida's number 1. You go there, you think you're gonna be an electric environment. Everyone's going to be sticking, everyone's going to be pushing each other, and the judges are going to, judges are going to be used to scoring high, so that maybe they'll keep scoring a little high when you go. So what they were able to do was compare themselves straight up with Florida, and so Florida was doing this amazing stuff, and then Auburn was able to show, hey, we're not that far behind Florida. So they got a good score, and there was drama. It was crazy. I'm gonna write a story about Cassie Stevens next. Just about it was about as dramatic as you could get, because she had a fall early in one event in bars, and then they pulled her from vault because she was still in her head a little bit and like tweaked her foot, but then she bounced back on floor. And then this is about the closest thing you can get to defense in gymnastics. When she was performing beam at the very end of the meet, at the very, very end, Florida's Trinity Thomas got a 10 on floor. So as obviously both teams are doing stuff at different times. Her score came in as Cassie is on this tiny thin beam trying to balance. The arena erupts, and it could have been a major distraction, but she ended up pulling off her routine, and that actually pushed them over the 197, which is it was pretty dramatic end of the meet. So now they have two good home scores and 1 good road score, and 1 fair. They have a 196, one fair road score. So this week at home, I think they'll just be solidifying. If they top their home scores, it won't be by a lot. So their next real big move for postseason is SEC championships, where they can drop that low road score. So anyway, all that to say, they're meeting Arkansas. You're trying to peak at the right time. And Arkansas's a program on the rise with Jordan Weber as their coach, which is pretty crazy. I got to do a Zoom interview with an Olympian this week. That was weird. I remember watching her at the 2012 Olympics. So that's just kind of, there's a story up now if you want to read it. It's just kind of a testament of where SEC gymnastics is right now. All of these teams are ranked high. All of them are gonna go to the regionals in the postseason. So one last home meet for Auburn. It's just a matter of, like I said, you're not quite, they could chase the score, and obviously if you get a 197, you're happy about it, but they're not going to bump up their postseason standing very much. So maybe they'll try some different things if they wanted to, but mostly this is just about making sure you're peaking at the right time and you're doing all the right things going into the SEC championships. SEC championships are March 20th, and then the regionals are in April after that. So there you go. There's the gymnastics soapbox for this week.
And I just want to chime in real quick that I'm the one who told Justin Lee that Jordan Weber was the head coach of Arkansas. I was a pretty big Jordan Weber fan when I was, I guess, in my teenage years. I had a Weber Fever shirt and absolutely loved her, and was totally crushed when she didn't make the all-around
I remember that.
finals in the Olympics, and her two other teammates, Gabby Douglas and Allie Raceman, qualified ahead of her. But so is life. It's going to be really kind of a fun moment for me to be able to be at that meet and see her in person, because I always thought she was a pretty cool person.
She didn't make all around, but she still went with the team and helped the team win gold. I remember that. That was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, and speaking of Olympians, Auburn's got another Olympian. Well, we assume an Olympian on the way coming next year in gymnastics as well. And Justin has tweeted a lot of her crazy bar routines. So, Justin, I just want you to chime in on this only because it is even something crazier to look forward to next year in gymnastics.
That's my cousin Sunisa. No, we are not related. Her name is Sunisa Lee. My name is Justin Lee. Yeah, no, she's tearing it up right now, and she is signed for the class of 2021, 2022, so fall semester. So I mean, that's if obviously anything could change, but that's something to really look forward to. I mean, think about it. This next meet, yeah, you've got an Olympian and Jordan Weber coaching. Next meet for Auburn at home next year, they might have an Olympian performing, flipping around up there on bars. So that's, again, this is the trajectory of the conference. This is where the conference is going, and we can kind of tie this back to women's basketball and everything else. The SEC is really, now's the time, the SEC is really investing in gymnastics. I think only 8 or 9 programs do it, but the ones that are investing, the SEC network is a big part of that. You can get on national TV. If you want to come to, for recruiting wise, if you want to come to perform in front of a packed building, the SEC is the place to be as far as a conference top to bottom. Yeah, that's just another. So that's kind of like softball. Softball, you look at the top 25; they're all SEC. All the SEC teams are in there. So that's just another sign that gymnastics is on the rise in the SEC, and we'll just see where it goes from here.